I've always been an extrovert developer in that as much as I love to code, I also love to interact with clients and management. And because of that, I've often been the trusted developer that management would want to promote into some kind of middle management tier. And I've played that role several times in my career. And it's led to a series of talks that I do at various conferences, including the No Fluff Just Stuff Tour. And I've been doing a talk for a number of years that I called Maintaining Project Integrity. And that was just an overarching topic of a lot of small topics about that bridge between management and software engineering, about the things that we need to do to maintain, from metrics to good practices, all that kind of stuff. And there was just so much, there was just so much material in that talk that the conference organizer asked me if I could do that as a two-parter. And for a long time, I struggled with separating the content of this presentation into two different talks. Do I have one targeted at management, one targeted at engineering? After a while, I found that the best way to break up the material was to target it as stuff having to do with project quality and stuff having to do with project complexity. And these really are two sides of the same coin in terms of things that we need to measure and manage to maintain project integrity. What I mean by that, when I say project integrity, is all the stuff, if we were to start over with a clean whiteboard, what would we do over? What would we want to get right? What would we say, never again are we going to let our project end up in that state? And then, when we have that opportunity, we oftentimes squander it. We don't document that stuff well. We don't put in the practices to maintain that. Well, that's what the Project Integrity series is about. The first talk is a talk on the project quality. That is, how do we measure the quality, and how do we instill practices in our developers that steer us towards that quality automatically just by doing the right thing? Some of this is metrics, some of this is behavior, some of this is different tools that we can build into our IDEs and our compilers. Then there's the complexity part. That is, as we develop, there are two kinds of complexities that we have to deal with. One is just the inherent complexity of the project we're solving. That is, no matter what language we did it in, no matter what tools we used, even if we did it with pen and paper, it's the stuff that we have to do to make our client happy, stuff to do the job. But then as a result of picking the technologies, there's this accidental or inherent complexity that comes in just from our tool chains. That's from our compilers, or the fact that we have to deal with version control, or our unit tests, or the way we have to deal with having abstracted interfaces to deal with types in Java's type system, that kind of thing. That's valuable for us to build the tools we need to solve the problem, but at the end of the day, they're not part of the customer solution that the customer needs. So by understanding these two kinds of complexity we deal with, we can classify the kinds of things we run into. And oftentimes as developers, we find the problems that we love to solve, and we build complexity that has nothing to do with our client complexity and everything to do with the complexity of our tool chain. How can we measure that? How can we maintain that? What tools can we build into our build processes that can measure this stuff for us and give us advice on how to handle it? There are a number of great open source projects for dealing with both measuring and grooming complexity and quality for our projects, and that's what that talk series is about.